Hello, Tom Cosm here. This is the Pro Member Challenge number 9. So this week's challenge is, it kind of falls under the practical category. So these are kind of challenges which are simple kind of exercises that kind of help you build your own kind of personal armory of tools that you can use and design things yourself personally. Really handy things to do. Not so much creative, but if you take a few minutes to do these things, then it makes the creative process a lot easier in the long run. So it's kind of thinking about the mid to long term rather than getting that immediate fun satisfaction that we all love. So this one is create a template in arrangement view for a very generic template for a tune, whatever genre you like writing. Creating a template so when you open up Live, you can just have this right in front of you, and all you have to do is kind of drop elements in, add your synths, design your sound, move things around, obviously, because it's all very generic, but just to help you speed up that actual writing process. Now, I've made mine like this. One thing, a good thing to do with this is if you're not too sure on how to actually structure your tunes, if you create a new audio track kind of up the top somewhere like that, get up there, you can drop in a tune that you really like. So what your most favourite tune, absolutely love it. You drop it in, you warp it correctly so it's all perfectly in time, and then what you do is you go through the tune and you add location points like I've done up here, or you add MIDI clips into kind of tracks that you've already set up, and you emulate what that tune does, and you add in kind of these blank dummy content things. So then when you actually subtract this tune, delete it, you've got the entire layout and the progression and the format of the tune all sitting there, and you can just put your stuff in place. I mean, no one's ever gonna call you out for copying the format of a tune. I mean, well, somebody might, but they're a fucking idiot. So this is how I've done mine. This is going to be a pretty simple kind of techie house tune template. So what I've got here is I've got my first group, my bass group, and here we've got three the categories children of it. So we've got bass sub, which is going to be the sub of the bass. See, I've just loaded up an operator here. It's got a single sine wave oscillator with a bit of a pitch envelope, just to give it a bit of a punch. We've got main bass line 1 and second bass line. So these are just operators sitting there waiting, and you'll notice that they all have compressors after them, which sidechain from the kick channel already set up, so the kick and the bass don't argue. I've also gone through here and I've added in some clips of where things should come in. So here at my first drop point, you see the first bass line comes in, then we have a variation, then we have the second bass line comes in, and then the second variation. So the sub's continuing all throughout. First bass line happens on the first bass line track, second on the second bass line track. Pretty straightforward stuff. So that's all good. And so we've got a bit of a breakdown here. Here's our outro, here's our intro where there's no bass. So if I just close that down, under percussion, same kind of thing. We've got my kick track here. So I've got kick, I've got a simpler ready to load a kick sample. I've got an EQ if I want to EQ the kick. I mean, of course you can add as much as you want here. This is just the bass. So these are core things that I know I am going to need. So at the start, I've named my clips here. You see we've got kick filtered, so that'll just kind of be a filtered kick, and then we'd have a fill, and then more filtered kick, and then when the build-up starts happening in the intro, the kick is in full, like doof doof doof. And you see I've added in little fills here. Each one of these MIDI clips has a little different kind of pattern of how the kick will actually have a wee fill. So I mean, I can change these again as much as I want, but it's just handy to have there. So at the end of every 16-bar phrase, there is a wee kick fill. We've got a snare, pretty much the same thing, snare on the offbeats, little fills here and here. We've got snare 1, and then we've got snare 2, and we've got snare intro. So you see I've loaded up an impulse here instead of a simpler, so we've got these slots here. So the snare intro will have the first slot, so that'll be one snare sound. Snare 1 will have the second slot, second snare sound, and then when it drops I'll have a oh no, I'm just using snare 2. I've actually mucked that up, so I need to drag these up like that. Up. So snare 2 is actually playing the third slot. There we go. Easily done. Close hi-hats, real simple. Again, another impulse. We've just got close busy, close simple, so it's just on the offbeats, and then we've got some busy stuff. I've got open hi-hats, pretty much doing the same thing. Open hi-hats, very simple. Just one open hi-hat, and over here I've got open hi-hats 2, which will step it up a bit. You can see over this kind of final section is where the tune usually gets the most heaviest, so it's kind of where I'm going to add more louder things. Percussion, got bongos this time, so I got 8 slots, just little kind of a little riff. I don't know if it's going to sound any good, but I've just put it in there. I can change it how I like. I've got a percussive fill, so I'll probably load up some tom samples here, and you see we've got various little fills every 16 bars, so these are just little kind of little edits to bring in the next phrase. Crash cymbal, straightforward, simpler, crash, boom. Rise ups, I've got an operator with a filter and a compressor set to white. The oscillator is set to white noise at the moment, so these are kind of whooshing, kind of rising up sounds, and I've got a whole bunch of them there. We can change that. We've got wind downs, which are kind of the opposite, so you know when things drop, it kind of goes like that. Under the synth group, I've got a synth lead, so it's kind of, I don't usually have too many leads. This could be like a melody, or it could be a kind of a blippy beep thing. I've got synth lead 2, so this is kind of the idea that drops after it drops, so the second kind of synth idea. Synth arp, it's kind of just an arpeggiated kind of thing. It could be something melodic. It could be an arp or a kind of a skanky chord sound. I've got pad here, so we've got a nice pad over the intro, and it comes back in after the first phrase, and then at the end, second pad happens at the breakdown and then comes in at the really busy area. I've set up this one here, Tech Out, because if you're familiar with my previous videos, what I do is I like to create real techy little glitchy things over my tunes, specifically the bass line. So I've got a tech generator here. This will be my machine where I'll generate some kind of sound, and I'll put in a wee clip here, so I'll create a little melody. And then I've got tech record 1 through 16. Now these, if we have a look at the ins and outs here, you'll see that the input is actually coming from the tech generator. So I'll create a sound, then record it to there, and then create a sound and record it to there. I'll do that 16 times, and then I can subtract. I'll have the same thing 16 times, but in a different sound. Then I can just subtract and subtract and subtract until I've got the glitchy things I want. And sound effects, very simple, just 3 audio tracks where I can drop sound effects. Could be vocals or something strange. And of course over here I've got a delay 1 on the send returns, delay 2, and a reverb 1 and a reverb 2. This took me about an hour to make, and it's going to be very, very handy in the future. I think on the master I have a limiter as well. So that's the challenge this week. Create something like this. Any genre. You know, you can create a couple if you've got a bunch of genres. It's just really handy to have, and yeah, it's just it's a. If you go into the preferences, I believe what we can do is you can go save current set as default. Is in the file folder tab. You can go set as default. So if I go save like that, it has now saved this as the default. So whenever I go new project and live, I'm going to save that just because I don't. In case it doesn't work and I've lost all my work. So new project, come on, spinning wheel. Look at that, new project, here it is right there, ready to go, ready to drop ideas into and start writing straight away. So, head over to cosm.co.nz. They're not pro member challenges anymore, they're weekly challenges. I've made it open to everyone. It's a lot more fun, so anybody can do this. If you go over, I mean, it's for you personally. You don't have to submit it, but if you do go and submit it, it's cool because it goes into a big pool that everybody else can see everybody else's templates and download other people's templates, and I'll give you a little badge that you can have on your profile to say that you completed this challenge. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, just for fun, is while I'm talking, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time dropping in some samples and mucking around with things, just to show you how I would go about the creative process with this template. Thanks for watching the video, and I know it's just been me talking this time, but yeah, have a go and enjoy. Coffee. Oh yeah, I'm using the samples from, what am I using? From Sample Swap. So if you go to sampleswap.org, all of these samples are free. So I'm just going to use these samples because I might put this project online so everyone can use it. So let's just go. I'm not going to talk later. Okay.